Okay, let's go. Welcome to my midlife crisis. So you might be wondering why I'm naked as hell. Hannah's still sleeping. I don't want to wake her up. But the reality is I just wanted to show off and inspire you because you too can look this good at 45 years old. Which is the topic of today. When is it too old to be doing anything? Because for my whole entire life, I've been too immature for my age. So I recently posted this video on Instagram.
At what age do you guys think it's too late? Oh, I'm too old. It's over my chances. No. So a guy in my cigar group, he was mentioning that he was getting old. So I was like, how old? And he was like, 24. And obviously that made all of us laugh because that's like a little baby to me. But then I remembered when I was around 23, I felt exactly the same way. And there were also uncles telling me like, I'm still young, you have plenty of time. But back then I remember feeling like I was way too old to start a YouTube channel because most of the YouTubers at the time were teenagers. And at 30, I felt too old to be a part of a game show. And at 38, I felt way too late to be getting married. And at 39, I felt kind of ridiculous opening up a matcha shop surrounded by college kids. Also, I just turned 42 and I feel like I shouldn't be on social media anymore.
So that was the quick 30-second version of it, but I wanted to get into all the stories of all the different eras. So without further ado, let's get into it. I don't know if you guys know my origin YouTube story. It all started in 2007 when me and my best friend started making recordings of stupid sketches in the backyard because we meet up to go study. We went to the same college. Shout outs to East Los Angeles College, home of the Vatos. Somehow we're supposed to be hitting them books, but instead we're writing stupid stories, acting out characters, recording videos. We found this thing called YouTube where I thought it was just like you could upload your videos and send links to your friends and stuff. This is how dumb I was. I had no idea it was connected to the public because we didn't know what social media was. So we started sending those videos out to our friends and we saw that there was a view count attached to the video and we were like, we don't have 100 friends. Where are these views coming from? And then we started seeing comments and people were like, make more, make more. So that's when I was like, dude, this is really fun, but it's cool because you don't really see who's watching you. So during this time, everybody was like 17 years old. I came into the game when I was like 23 and it was pretty cringy is what the kids call it today. I felt really, really embarrassed that I was so much older than everybody else. And I came from a completely different world. I had this huge inner conflict and I thought what I was doing was so lame, but I'm so happy that I was very impulsive and I didn't let my brain control my heart. That does backfire a lot though. In most cases, you should let your brain control your heart. But in this case, man, the passion freaking really won. You guys don't get it. I came from a world where all of this stuff was considered heavily homosexual. And what's even more embarrassing at the time is I was legitimately trying to be like a rapper. Long story short, when you look at this innocent face, it's probably hard to believe that I done anything wrong in life. But I was involved in criminal activities right before I went to college. And the way I turned my life around was I went to school to get financial aid so I could buy a pound of marijuana. And one of the ways that I thought was legitimate was music, because I've always loved music. I grew up in a musical home. My parents were in opera. And you might wonder, how did a boy stray so far away when he came from such good roots? I'll tell you a whole entire story later. My dad left when I was 14, but I'm not going to talk about this sob story today. All I want to say is that I was trying to be a rapper and it just conflicted with who I really was inside. A goofy, gentle soul. But coming from that world, guys, there used to be a thing that happened a lot in the San Gabriel Valley, in the gang scene in the 90s in LA. It's called hitting people up. So when people suspect that you're from a street gang, they'll look you up and down. And if they're not from the same neighborhood, they don't recognize you, they'll say, where are you from? Maybe not in that way. That was kind of cute. But they'll ask you. And then if you're from a gang, you call your gang out. If you know that they're a rival, whatever, you figure it out then and there. You fight. Or if you have a mutual friend, cool, it's cool. So that used to happen all the time, especially at the cafes in San Gabriel Valley. There weren't many things to do for people that were underage.
Remember, as you watch this crime was committed by teenagers.
And what would they do? They'll go to pool halls, they'll go to cafes, and a lot of the times, a lot of fights, stabbing, shootings, all kinds of stuff break out in these Chinese Hong Kong cafes. Looking back, I'm like, it was so easy just not to do that shit. Like you just didn't have to go to these places where there was violence. It's so stupid. But when you're young, you want action, you want to be tough, and I think that was the place to be. So because we came from this world, every single time we saw a bunch of guys that looked like street thugs staring at us, it gave us the heebie-jeebies. It got me the shivers. I got the PTSD. Oh no, they're gonna try to attack me. Oh shit. While I'm trying to act really tough, right? So after we did one of these goofy little shoots, we decided to go to JJ Cafe in Monterey Park because Bart, not to burn out your house, but you live so close to there. So we went over there, and what do we see? After we sit down, we gotta get the chow mein. I don't know why I call it chow mein. It might be chow fun. I don't know. And then we got the steak and eggs. We got some orange iced tea. If you guys are ever at a Hong Kong cafe in San Gabriel Valley, you must get an orange iced tea. It's like a secret menu item. I'm gonna go back to the point. Hold on, okay? So when we sit down, why do we see a whole seat full of freaking thugs that look like they just got out of jail and they still in the 1999 gang scene? Tattoos, fucking up to their neck and eyeballs. Like, man, I've never seen these guys either. I've never seen them in my neighborhood. So I'm like, oh, here we go again, right? They're looking at us. They can't stop staring at us. And I'm looking at Bart and I'm like, dude, like, we're in college now. Like, we don't want to do this shit. Like, when is this stupid gang shit gonna fucking die out, man? It's too scary. So my paranoia and nerves got to me. I'm unarmed. I don't know what to do. I'm just staring at this table. They staring back and they keep staring. And I'm like, okay, here we go. They're going to hit us up. They're going to want to fight. I just don't want to do any of this. Me and Bart are looking at each other like, all right, it's time to get up. Let's go. So we pay the bill, and we knew that this is probably the moment they're going to say something to us. So when we stand up, they go, hey, and we're like, fuck, here it goes. Here it goes. And then they go, you those funny guys, huh? We're looking at each other like, oh, you watch our videos? And then this one guy, he looks like he could be 10 years older than us. Like, he's like their OG, right? He giggles and he goes, oh shit, it's the uncle. Because we had these characters, Uncle Chin and Uncle Sam. And then I swear to God, I've never seen such hardcore looking guys just turn into little boys. And they were like, and you know what it was? It's like, we're from the same neighborhood. We're from the same area. We represent the same style. They've never felt seen before. They go, dude, like, you guys are really talented. It's so funny. And you're putting it down for the neighborhood. And that's when me and Bar were like, oh man, what a relief. Dude, like, this is paying off. Like, being a bunch of idiots online, we're becoming hometown heroes. And people in the past that would have just beat our asses for having a bald head and a Nike Cortez, they want to be our friend. They're excited to meet us. We gave them joy. And I think that was the moment when I felt like, dude, we're doing something. I don't know what it is, but I'm glad that I didn't let my self-doubt, my embarrassment, I'm glad that I just did what was fun. And I'm glad that I did whatever I wanted and walked through the cringe to make people happy. What ended up happening was me and Bar, we talked about this where we're the ones that healed. We're the ones that started not having this paranoia when we saw a group of Asian guys. And it's so funny looking back. Like, we're the ones that it changed for us. We started to trust people. We started to feel like we were one group. The San Gabriel Valley, we're one group. It's not like, these different fractions of cliques and stuff. And although I think it's been a long time from being that thug life guy, We just needed this to kind of shake it off and become new people. Do you guys ever get these thoughts where you go, damn, I'm too old for this? I remember when I was at one of the highest points in my success, right? We had this game show. I'm out here eating habanero. I'm like, oh, it's so spicy. But I remember laying down on the couch after eating ghost pepper, habanero, jalapeno, and 1,000 million Scovilles in my mouth, burnt up. And I'm lying there going, shit, like, am I old? Like, I'm 30 years old and I'm eating jalapenos for a living. And it just feels like I should be married with a house and a family and, life insurance, and I should have my shit together. And I started feeling bad about myself. I was like, why am I like this? Like, do I only know how to make money by people laughing at how retarded I am? Like, what's going on? And why do I like this so much? Like, why can't I just be happy? Like, why can't I enjoy a 9 to 5, wearing a suit? Well, I do like suits, but then knowing me, I want to pimp it out. And I can't come in with a leopard print neon suit to work unless I was like a manager at a strip club or something. Sometimes I wish I was just normal. And I'm not even fucking around, right? I mean, like, truly, like, I have friends and family that absolutely love their regular job. And my mom's the same way. She goes, I can't live the way you live. Like, the way you live is terrifying to me. She goes, Mama, well, she's retired now. But when she worked, she goes, Mama loved just routine. Even if the job just lied to me and said it was stable, she goes, I would love that shit. Because she likes to clock in, see the same people. She likes it. It gives her safety. And on the weekend, she could play piano. She don't need much to live. For me, that makes me sad, dude. I know that the life that I'm comfortable in gives me a lot of pain. And it's because it's just so stressful. And I don't know why I'm so attracted to that, because sometimes I wish I can just be a normal fucking human being. Here's the thing, guys. A lot of people who's watched my videos think I don't get embarrassed. They go, how can I be as free as you? How can I do what you do on video where you just don't give a fuck? The truth is, I just have low self-control. I get extremely embarrassed. I just do it on camera and later regret it. I used to tell myself over and over again, this is it. I'm not gonna lose my temper on camera. I'm not gonna be an idiot anymore. This time I'm gonna come back and then I'm gonna be respected. But the more I try not to do it, the more it's like a soda that you just shake like a motherfucker and then you fucking explode. The thing is, I got rewarded for the exact thing that I was ashamed of. I got extremely lucky that the things that used to get me in trouble during class with adults, being called fucking never amount to anything loser, it worked out for the exact industry that I got into. So I want you to think about what you might be hiding or rejecting or suppressing that is actually going to help you thrive. Like, there's something that's amazing about you, but it's never came out because you rejected it. You hated that part about you. So real quick, I'm building stuff outside of YouTube, like in-person meetups, events. I'm organizing a fun little adventure here in Hawaii. When I'm in Vegas, I've been doing some cigar meetups. It's going to be pretty fun. And I don't charge for these things. But also, I want to make sure that I can stay in contact with you in case the CIA destroys my YouTube channel or whatever. So check the link in the description box below. Getting married at 38 feels like I'm already a great grandpa trying to finally go into dating. It's pretty old if you think about it, right? Most people get married, in their 20s, and then they pop out a kid. And with several failed long-term relationships, I just thought maybe I wasn't that type and I was just incapable of it. So the honest part is I genuinely really liked single life. Just felt like, I don't know, I could do whatever I want, go wherever I want to go. But here's the thing, is when I got married to the right one, sharing it is just 20 times better than anything I could have ever imagined. Like, if I told myself that it's just not for me, I will never be married, and I really believed in that and didn't give it a chance, I I would have really missed out on this chapter of my life, which I fucking love. If I rushed myself and just got with whoever because I thought it was age appropriate, I don't think I'd be as happy because I would have been forcing the situation with the wrong person. So I rather marry the right one at the wrong time than the wrong person at the right time. I'm going to say this again, all right? And you could steal my quote, but please quote me. I rather marry the right person at the wrong time than the wrong person at the right time. Bet you never made anybody cry before by telling them good job, because I have. Before you think I'm some abusive boss, okay, this is what went down. So one of my employees was trying to fix this boba machine, and I was trying to tell her how to do it. And I wanted her to remember, so I kept taking it apart and saying, try again, good job, you can do it. You know, because I heard that's what people like these days. They like words of affirmation, right? Good job, great, neato, you got this, right? So I didn't do it like that. I was being chill about it, all right? I was like, okay, let's try it again. You're almost there. Let's try it again, right? And after maybe like the sixth time, she got so frustrated. Tears started running down. I'm all like, hey, you can do this, right? And she ran to the back and she goes, Joe's making fun of me. Hannah, Joe's making fun of me. And I was like, what the? This whole, I'm making fun of, that is, no. That's false accusation, dude. I'm trying to encourage you. I'm trying to bring you up as a young adult that knows how to fucking fix a boba machine. I'm trying to help you out so you got life skills and you could go out there into the world and now fix a boba sealing machine. But no, you think I'm making fun of you. Girl, is you crazy? But this is what I realized. I'm the unk in the room. I don't know how to talk to young people anymore, okay? They're more sensitive. They're not built like us. And also, I'm intimidating. I didn't realize I'm like over 20 plus years older than this individual. This is when I thought to myself, what am I doing? What 39-year-old in their right mind wants to even open up a boba shop? That already should be a red flag. I'm surprised I'm not on fucking, what do you call it, Megan's Law or whatever. Why didn't nobody tell me, hey, dude, this looks sus. Joe, stop. Don't do this, right? Why do you want to open up a freaking boba shop with a bunch of teenagers? You're a grown man. Don't do it. But here's the thing, guys. My naivety of my imagination got me to do the crazy. I said to myself, oh, it'll be wonderful. I'm going to open up this shop and I'm going to go surfing in the morning. And I imagine all these like athletic surfer people that are like 30 years old just running the shop, like when you go to a coffee shop. But the coffee shop crowd is different than the green tea matcha boba crowd, all right? It's different. Here's the thing. I'm trying to build a national matcha brand, okay? It is a bit embarrassing going into work and having to navigate the difficulties of the age gap and realizing, hey, I used to be the artist. I used to be the guy that people had to wrangle. I used to be the immature one. I used to be the one that people had to tell me what to do at 35 years old. And now we gotta be, I was looking at Hannah like, we gotta be the responsible one. She's from theater. She's from the arts. She was a free soul before she came here and became a manager of the store. Now we have to run this and tell people what to do. What are we doing? Although I feel embarrassed, cringe, what the hell am I doing here? I really, really like their energy. And hear me out, okay? At my age, at 42, this is when things get really, really tough for people because you're going to be taking care of aging parents. You have children. You have so many people to take care of. You have so many bills to pay for. You're just in a mountain of so much shit. And this is the time in life when I feel like a lot of people lose that spark. lose that passion, lose that spirit. And I see it in so much of my peers. And I saw myself like when I was with my peers, like we would just get into this complaining fest about life, about like, it's just a lot of stress, a lot of pressure. And then when I'm around the youth, the youngins, they still got that spark. They remind me, okay, what it was like when I was like, I'm going to take on the world. I'm going to build this company. I'm going to do this thing, you know? And it's good to have that balance, because when you're too stuck in your own age range, and if you're too stuck in the same areas of people in the same seasons, you don't break out of that. What first felt super embarrassing, I started seeing the benefits of being exposed to this, being able to understand a different generation, how they work, how to communicate, because now I could report this and maybe improve the working conditions, the franchisees, all this stuff. Because now from 3 stores, we're going to have 26 stores this year. And I don't think any of that would have happened if I told myself, this is a cringy thing to do. It's a 22-year-old girl's dream to have a matcha tea shop. What are you doing, bro? Don't do it. So right now, what's going on? This is an unresolved story for me. And as you're watching, you're writing this with me. As I'm making this video, my old school brain goes, YouTube is a teenager sport. And even though logically I know, we got Bobby Lee out there crushing it. We have Joe Rogan and guys that are much older than me that are in the game. People love what they do. And if you've noticed, a lot of YouTubers from our generation changed. Like Ryan Higa, I don't even think he posts on YouTube anymore. For the last thing I heard, he was doing Twitch and live streaming. Even my close buddy David So, he had this video.
I actually don't know how to create content anymore. I don't even know how many times I've said that I'm coming back.
And there's just a lot of molting and metamorphoses and evolutions coming from a lot of creators from my generation, if they haven't completely quit or retired. So here's the extremely comforting thing. The voice, the critic, that nagging person that's telling you cannot, they're never going to retire. It's just always going to be there. It kept criticizing me before I made the best decision of my life. But you just got to take a sip of coffee and be like, I don't obey. No. So why do we even put these rules on ourselves? I don't know if you agree with me, but what I think is it's comparison. So at every single age and stage, you're looking at other people, how they're living, where they're at, and then you go, oh shit, should I be having that too? Things that I didn't even consider before. You're like, oh, well, they got 2 cars. Should I get 2 cars? And the deadline will keep changing depending on who you stand next to. That's why they call it like keeping up with the Joneses. But in our situation, it might be like keeping up with the Changs or something. So if I listen to this inner critic, I don't think I ever would have enjoyed life very much. I'm so stubborn that I don't even listen to any of those doubts. Okay, it does get to me from time to time, but the key here is to argue with it. Shut up! Because here's the point. Shooting these shots, missing, failing, fumbling, laughing, getting back up, doing it again, trying different things. That's what makes life super fun for me. And yes, I've taken tremendous amounts of L's. And I think that's where a lot of my funny stories come from. But at the same time, I feel like I got a lot of dubs too. And I'm super grateful for them. But here's the unfortunate thing. If you don't put yourself out there, explore, enjoy, challenge yourself, life does get stale and it does get boring and painful. But I get it. When you're surrounded by naysayers, including yourself in your own mind, you have maybe family and friends who are also in the same boat and they're not doing so well mentally, soully, emotionally, whatever, right? They're just miserable cucks. But even if you're not miserable, it's like, where do you even start? Where do you even go? And maybe you've tried doing things in the past, but you can't stick with it. I attribute a lot of my ability to being able to follow through, do things, explore, and have fun with it is I've always had play buddies, accountability partners. I guess that's a lame way to say it, but it is what it is. I've done a lot of things in groups, partnerships, teams, and it's because when I do it that way, it makes it much more fun than a solo journey. You don't want to let others down. So it's easier to show up. And it's easier to not show up for yourself when you have no consequences. So I know how scary it feels to start over and admitting that and saying it out to the world. But how about we all do this together? Drop your age in the comments and the thing you've been putting off because you feel like it's too late or it's just too cringe. I'm going to be in there responding, communicating, and let's have a discussion. Also, I've been doing a lot of these meetups in person, cigar hangouts, whatever. And I'm planning on doing more cool adventures that are planned and scheduled. Like we got an itinerary going on tours and things like that. So go ahead and click that link in the description box below. You know what to do. So if any of these stories kind of resonated with you, please share your story as well. When these videos go up, I'm fully in the comments having discussions, and hit that notification bell because I don't have a schedule and I would love for it if we could catch each other when this video goes up so we can chat. Till next time, peace.